Brian Langenberg is principal and industrial strategist at Langenberg and Company. You said, Brian, obviously commercial aviation, and no one's predicting gangbuster results there, but somehow the company was able to report, you would say, narrower losses in cash flow, $2.1 billion. Versus the forecast, recent forecast in May, not that recent, I guess, $3.5 billion to $4.5 billion negative. So somehow they were able to beat on that line. It was not from commercial aviation. Where was the outperformance given, I mean, if you want to call it outperformance, given where the company was predicting back in May?
Sure. Well, first of all, remember, this is General Electric, magic fluid of life, still getting through this. It's going to be a little while to analyze. Looking through the results, right? I mean, we knew that aviation was going to get pounded. You also had a signal yesterday out of, Raytheon Technologies where they had a write-off. So this is not about the quarter, okay? In my view, the reason the stock is up is the part where they said, hey, we shored up over $10 billion of liquidity this quarter. That's what really matters, okay? You had 5 aviation bankruptcies so far in probably the last 90 days. That's what really matters. When I look at the power results, we expected them weak. They came in weak. Aviation, we expected weak. We got weaker, a much wider loss, plus the write-off in capital. So I think those are the silver linings there that, especially after yesterday, you were anticipating a big hit in aviation.
So long term, we all wonder about buying a stock like General Electric that's single digits and the great path that the company enjoys, and we'd all think, wow, it'd be great to really load up on this if it's going to recover. You have a $15 price target, but people have had price targets much higher than where the stock is for years and years, and just there's been nothing but pain. I mean, you double your money there. When are you talking? How long term are you talking about, Brian?
That's a good question. And by the way, I am one of the people that would share that pain. Prior to what's gone on the last few years, I'd had to hold on for a while. I upgraded way too early, so I'm in that camp. I've made nobody money in this stock. So that 15, you know what? With COVID, with what's going on in the world, that's an aspirational, frankly, 2 to 3 years out. I would be thrilled if I saw 10 in the next 12 to 18 months, right? So what would that assume? There's the macro aspect, right? Do the markets hold up? Market liquidity? Do we recover out of COVID? And I think the world does that. Okay, we're gradually moving in that direction, but it's long term, and the whole nature of the confidence over time is that when Larry Culp came in, not from the board, but when he took over as CEO, that was a 180-degree shift in injecting reality into how you run things, thinking long term. That's the nature of the recommendation. So it's certainly not about the near term.
The asset mix, the things that Larry Culp is trying to do right now, he says he wants to de-risk our company, further actions to do that. And other than preserving cash and sort of circling the wagons, what else is Culp doing right now? Or what is he doing, and what do you suggest that he does to position General Electric for the next 5 years?
Right. Well, near term, the most important things are survival, working through the current conditions. And that is what you really do need to focus on. In terms of the assets, are the assets as great as many of us once thought they were? Probably not, because assets can deteriorate if you run things too short term, if you make some, let's just say, suboptimal decisions on projects, what have you. But there's still something there. These are still big franchises. So the potential's there when you run them right. The aviation franchise is a wonderful franchise. It is obviously under pressure right now, but that's a macro thing. The healthcare business is solid. Power, of course, is a work in progress. I would expect, and just on some field work, I think there's some progress being made, but there's also a lot of work to do.